Welcome to Feisty Chess. I've got white here. We're playing e4 against Schlecht on Lee Chess. Let me make sure all my stuff's working. Okay. Caro Kann. Let's play the fantasy variation. G6. Okay. We'll just keep developing. And we'll continue developing. If he ever plays knight f6, well, I got e5 coming. Maybe he's got e5 now. He's just about out of useful developing moves. I can go queen d2 and castle long. Okay. I think maybe waiting for e5 is the right move here. I still like to have this. Okay, now his knight's going to be sad, and we're going to take the space now. His knight has to come back here or there. If it comes here, it gets trapped. So yeah, now it's sitting where this other knight would probably rather sit. Let's just get castled. You know, not sure I need a castle right now. I'm going to go for h4, I think. Why not? Let's get that in and get h5 in if we can. He's going to let it happen. He doesn't have h6. Any knight here, I'll just chop it with my bishop. My bishop's not really doing anything important anyway. If he tries bishop here, I probably got g4. Bishop probably comes to e6, and then he goes knight d7. It's just awfully slow. Okay. I'm going to take that out. Now either bishop h6. Let's just castle long, huh? Get one more defender on d4, and then I've got ideas like bishop h6. Yeah, I'm very happy here. I wonder if the knight can come to e4. That looks awfully good. Everything looks good here. I think getting bishop h6 in first is good. This looks like a disaster for black. He can't even go knight d7, knight f6 for defense. He has to move this rook and play two knight moves to get here to defend from f8. His bishop is not going to be on the defense for longer. The plan is just simply this, and then yeah. Knight e4 looks great. Everything looks really great here. if c3, I'll just take and take and take again with the knight. So I'm not sure that that's the right way to handle that with c3. Maybe I just go queen. Queen e3. I mean, what's he going to do? He takes here, I just hide behind the pawn. Yeah, let's not open up his path to my king. I've got a little pawn shield. That's a clever move. But he wants to defend this stuff with the bishop. But I don't want to let that happen. Now I've got a big fat pawn center. His best might be to give up the exchange here. Bishop h8. Because what's coming, I mean, he has no way of defending this with his king. So the idea with bishop f5 was interesting, because then if I take here, he can recapture with the bishop. And then he's got defenses on h7. He's not going to be able to defend h7 in this variation, though. It's a little slower, but... All right, let's take here. And here it comes. Yeah, taking g6 with check. Oof, either way, that's brutal. So he's got two moves, and both of them are queen g6 check. Good game. Okay. So, yeah. Just to illustrate, only move is this, and now this. Well, he's fighting another day, sort of, but not really. I mean, he's got to make ridiculous moves just to stave off mate here. Oh, and even that doesn't work. Okay. And if this here, well, then he's got to give up. That's the only, either that or your rook. This guy's king has no moves, thanks to my pawn on e4, which he gave me. Ooh, I can go queen f5. Rook here. He's got to come back here. I mean, I must be missing some stuff. It's curtains. Oh, queen g6 is better. Now take. Huh. Pawn's pinned. Okay. Let's look at it from the beginning. That's more interesting stuff. All right. Caro Kann has never sat well with me. This first move, like, what are you doing with c6? Your knight wants to develop there. And no, it's a fine opening, right? Just aesthetically. And on principle, I don't like it. Your knight wants to develop there. You haven't gotten any step closer to putting a pawn in the center. I mean, if you're going to play d5, you can play it right now if you want. The French, I am a fan of the French because you know, that's the same idea of playing d5, but at least in the French, you're opening paths for both your bishop and the queen. You're one step closer to castling. In the Caro Kann, you're not a step closer to castling. And I have a lot of different lines I like to play against Caro Kann, but I've been playing the fantasy variation lately, or the Marozzi variation, as you can see there. F3. So like breaking the rules just like black has already broke the rules, right? F3, well, you're going to give me this big pawn center. I'm just going to support it and try to maintain it and try to recapture with it. So G6 is a variation here, but it looks like white does pretty well. You usually see takes with E5, which is fun stuff. But yeah, the idea of the fantasy is just to take that pawn center and keep it. And there's gambit lines too, which makes it a lot of fun. E6 is the main move here, which is really sad. The whole point of the Caro Kann is to prepare D5 so you can recapture with a D5 pawn, but not block in your light square bishop, because the French, E6 blocks in the light square bishop, and that's the problem piece for the whole game for black. This kind of just admits that, okay, I'm going to block my bishop in anyway. Meanwhile, I played this semi-useless move, C6. So, all right, neither side has made a developing move yet, but this move at least allows the bishop to develop. So I just continue developing, and now we have a race to develop. I don't want to push E5 until it's a clear advantage for me, because I'd rather wait to take with this F pawn and then put my knight on F3 and maybe get a rook to F1, use that open F file. But black was pretty stubborn and didn't want to do that. Queen B6 will be the main line here. Let's look at that. Rook B8 doesn't seem right. Queen D2's got to be the way to address this, right? Now Rook B1. We got kind of a poison pawn idea. Computer says it's just equal. What's the right move? No, it says E5 is the way to do this. I wasn't really worried about Queen B6. Anyway, now E5 is a definite win. Now, Queen B6 or maybe Knight B7 here, that's better, because now E5 doesn't come with a tempo. And I still waited. I probably shouldn't have waited, but now black just castled. But the idea here is that he can't come here or here thanks to my F3 pawn. Look at that. And can't come here either because I trap knight with G4. He's got no escape squares. So he's got to go back. He's either got to go to E8 or D7, where this knight probably wants to go. So yeah, when you have your queen knight on B8 and your other knight on D7, you know something's gone a little bit wrong. F4, I just went balls to the wall here and went for H4. Yeah, H5, and now it probably just holds an advantage for white the whole time. That knight has moved 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I'm going to chop it off with one move with my bishop. And that really shows in the level of space and development I've got here. My rook is in the game, attacking even. I've got 3 other pieces developed and ready to go. Black is castled, but he only has 1 piece developed, and he's castled into it effectively, since he's allowed me to play H5. I'm going to look back at H4. It still says C5 is the best. What about H5, trying to stop this? That doesn't work either, because my G3 pawn allows me to play G4. My F3 pawn supports G4. And I can open up the G file by force. I'm opening something up on the king side. But yeah, that's got to be better than allowing H5, doesn't it? Yeah, it is. Well, according to the computer, it's a little bit better. But now you see a very common attacking pattern. I suppose I could have gone without castling. Play bishop H6 immediately, but I didn't like allowing the queen to take on D4. I take here immediately, but I didn't want to open this thing up until I needed to. Yeah, and then he can defend with a rook. I wanted to retake with the king. So I wanted to play bishop h6 first. But I had to defend this pawn. That's why I castled. Okay, and that's a good move. Still completely winning. Bishop h6 now. I'm just following according with my plan here. Yeah, queen e3. Oh, it looks like I'm cheating here because I'm following the computer line exactly. Let's look at the computer analysis as it gets going. But yeah, I mean, a natural thing would have been to win the pawn here with take, take, and take. And I'm really not really much worse for the wear, but my king side is opened up now. And although black isn't activated at all, I'd much rather have one less pawn, but it's a pawn that's protecting my king, right? It's an even better defender than my own pawns in a lot of ways. So I went for that. Let's see what the computer says. I had 1 inaccuracy and 2 mistakes for 88% accuracy. Oh, it's been a while since I played. I should say I played a game just now beforehand, and I'm not going to post it because I made a horrific blunder, an unbelievable blunder in the beginning of the game, but I lost a piece, but somehow managed to scrabble back and win. I think my opponent's rating was a little inflated because he was provisional rating yet. So I lucked out there, but anyway, this is a better one to come back with. I try to post all my games, but that one was not worthy. Okay. Yeah, bishop f5. So the computer likes this idea anyway, allowing him to recapture with the bishop. Queen h6. Oh, and then our knight's coming to g5. I mean, that's the point. We're going to take here. Just take. And then there's just... Oh, yeah, knight back here. And now the rook can't come here to defend, and we're threatening mate. Rook's got to do that anyway. It just chows down again. The king tries to run for his life. Anyway, that's as far as we need to go on that line. But I just didn't like the idea of letting the bishop play defense like that. So I kicked her, sir. Oops. Kicked it away. Bishop takes e4. This is the game, right? How does it... Wait, no. Now I kicked it. Okay. Bishop takes e4. It likes bishop takes e6 here. Ha! With the idea of g5. So not letting me open up the h file where my rook lives. Yeah. But still, I've got an overwhelming position. But that would have been a stronger way to resist. So probably the right move order here is taking here. Maybe even after kicking, I take here. Oh, then he has a sacrifice, which opens up my king some. Anyway, would have been better to take off the bishops on g7 first. I just didn't want to allow the rook time to come in. So I took here, and now, like if I take with the bishop first, he can recapture and then something like this. But he's getting mated in 4 here, so I wanted to keep it as forcing as possible. Yeah, king f7, otherwise he gets mated on g8. And we saw how it worked out. I mean, black resigned here, but here's a fun way to finish. There we go. Okay, fantasy, success in the fantasy variation. Stay feisty, folks.